Hey YouTube, welcome back to Universe X, and today we are going to be talking about set 2. It took a little longer for me to get into set 2 because I wanted to once again try to come at it from an angle that I don't necessarily see happening all the time. People are talking about deck lists. I want to start off by talking about the decks that will be coming into the format, but I also want to talk about, I want to go a little bit more depth. And now once the cards are out and I get to play test with them a little bit more, I'll go back to the all you need to know about series that seem to take off very, very well. But before that, I do want to at least kind of get you primed up for the set. And this won't be a here are all the red cards or blue cards in Paramount War. If you guys want a video like that, let me know in the comments and I will go back and I will go through every single card color by color. But until then, we're gonna start doing this and just see how it goes. So without further ado, we're gonna get into that. I always say without further ado, I apologize. I'll figure out some other transitional phrase. But I do want to say that if you want to join the Universe X fam, all you gotta do is go down there, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification button so you don't miss a beat, comment on the video so the video trends, and maybe you can join the Discord and we will be continuing the train of content we have. I think today is going to be a 4 upload day for 4,000 subscribers. And also, if you want to comment below on what I can do for 4,000 subscribers, I'll also put up a little community post. So let's hop in and let's see what changes Zoro, what new additions happen to it, as well as what cards are still being played in the future and most over. So the first thing we're going to do is actually talk about the leader. You guys should know this leader. He was probably the most popular leader going into the release of set 1, and then he ended up tailing off because people found out that Kid has the ability to pretty much wall low to the ground red decks with maximum efficiency, because Zoro's leader ability allows you to make a wide board slightly more powerful and just rush your opponent in terms of quantity over quality. However, in favor of going higher in terms of quality over quantity, Luffy has kind of edged out Zoro in terms of playability with this Kid heavy meta. So now in set 2, this effect that turns a small but wide board into all neutral swings or more is going to become stronger than ever, and you're about to see what cards make that possible. So yeah, this leader just does what it does. Dawn 1 under him, all characters gain plus 1k. Now let's move over to show you guys what makes this deck go round starting forward. First on the list is Curly Dan, or Curly Dan. She has 3,000 power, she's a 2 cost, but on play you're gonna look at the top 5 cards of your deck and then reveal up to 1 red character with an energy, a Dawn cost of 1, and add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck. So this is going to give red a second top 5 searcher in the same deck, because if you don't remember, this is a Straw Hat. We're probably going to be using Straw Hat cards, and Nami is a top 5 searcher as well. This is also going to allow you to potentially play into more things. The deck is going to actually have a fair amount of searchability. You can play Curly Dawn and then search into a Nami and play Nami, and that's a 3 Dawn play, but you're going through 10 cards to search for your best picks out of them. One of them being a Nami, then the other one being something else. So it offers a lot more reach, but you're going to be able to fish for so many of your 1-drops with this card, and then Nami's going to search for some of your power cards. So that's pretty tight. Moving forward, you've got Makino. She is a 1 cost, counter 2k, that's a huge part of it. And then she's going to be able to, when you have her on board, you can rest her, and up to 1 of your 1 costs gains 3,000 power during this turn. So she's going to be able to soup up your 1 costs to be stronger. If you think about lots of the 1 costs, the 1 costs in general are usually, they're usually 3Ks, the ones you want to be using. So using something like this, tapping her to give 3k to a 1 cost boosts it up to 6k, and then using Zoro's effect is going to make it a 7k. So you're going to be able to go incredible, hitting really good numbers with these low investment cards. The next card that joins the fray is Magra. Magra is almost the same thing, except he isn't on play. So it's kind of like this, it's kind of like, tit for tat. Makino can be used over and over again, but being a 0 power card, yeah, she's gonna get swung on for a leader. If they have nothing else to swing on, that's not a threat, or they have like even like something small like an Ekamamushi or something like that, they can always just swing in their Makino and just get it off the field because it's at 0. So be wary of that. But with Magra, you on play, up to 1 red character with a cost of 1 is going to gain 3,000 power. So that's actually a very, very strong card too, and he only costs 1 himself. So you're starting to kind of see this. Most of this deck is going to cost 1s and 2s, and that's going to allow you to mount an incredible amount of offense for very, very cheap. You can put these things down, you can dawn them up, you can give them extra power, but you're going to be swinging at an incredibly fast rate, and these attacks actually go fairly tall, hitting 7Ks quite easily and quite often. The next card that comes into play here is a very, very good card. It's Vista. He's a 3-drop 3K, and on play you KO an opponent's character with 3,000 power or less. And what this is really going to combo with are the normal minus power things, like cards that you use in red. So moving past, well, this guy's gonna come out, and the whole point is, though, you're killing blockers. You're killing small little combo pieces. But in conjunction with cards that we're gonna get into later, like Gordon Otama, you can destroy 5Ks and 6Ks too, while adding a body, this progressive movement, and you don't need him to swing. So unlike Robin, while you're gonna get less use out of him because he's an on play, you will be able to immediately impact the board if you don't think it's going to be safe to play him next turn, or play Robin, you know, and have her wait for a turn. So that's pretty nice. And then closing off the list of new cards that we're getting into this deck, you have the almighty Whitebeard. This essentially replaces this is your top end, and already in Zoro you don't always see Shanks. Sometimes you see him, sometimes you don't. But this is a crazy card. It costs the same as Shanks, and it doesn't have Rush. But on play, up to 1 of your leaders gains 2,000 until the start of your next turn. And then you cannot add cards from your life area to your hand by effects during this turn. Irrelevant for this deck. But Dawn X2, when attacking, KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters with 3K power or less. So he's a Robin. For going up to 12K, he's a Robin. So essentially, what happens here is you play him, and your leader is automatically going to go up to 7K. But then you put the Dawn under him, that's 10 Dawn total, and your leader will go up to 8K while pumping everything else on your board. And it makes this ginormous swing that you're going to be able to go into. But the more important part is your leader is now a base 7K, making him very easy to protect the following turn. So you can kind of all in your opponent, and your opponent's going to have to drop card after card after card to try to maintain their life. And then the following turn, you have this 12K beater that's going to blow up cards upon swinging, and that's the terror of Whitebeard. And if you play him again, you don't even have to Dawn X2 him. You can just swing for 10K, play another one if you wanted to, and your leader is going to have that protection again. So Whitebeard really does kind of bring it all together. Also, I have to say shout out to One Piece Dev for getting these awesome translations and putting them on there. So now we're going to go to returning characters, and for returning characters we have Nami. Nami hits synergy because you're going to see some of the Straw Hats are returning cards, and she's also a 1-drop. So if you don't have anything better you want, or you want to pick up a Straw Hat and you can't do that with Curly Dawn, you can always pick up you can always pick up Nami from Curly Dawn and then play her. She's also going to be able to go sideways with 2 Dawn under her and 1 Dawn under your leader, so she can get it in there for damage. And she's a Straw Hat, so that's always going to be cool. We love Straw Hats here. So she's going to be returning as a card. Another card that's going to be returning is Sunny-kun. And actually, when I say returning, it's pretty interesting. Sunny-kun is only high in value at first, before people started playing it in Zoro. Sunny-kun was only high in value because we were playing it as a heavy card going into set 2. Because this is like one of those cards that is predominantly strong. You put Sunny-kun out, you put a Dawn under Zoro, it's 4K. You use Makino or Magra, and it goes up to 7K, and that's just a huge swinger for 3 Dawn. Yeah, you played this one last turn, and then this turn you played Makino or you played Magra, and then you put a Dawn under Zoro. So for 2K investment, you're making a 7K swing. That's it. 2 Dawn investment, you're making a 7K swing. That's just incredible. So this is the card, and it can be searched out by Nami. It can be searched out by Curly Dawn, so it's got that dual searchability. Very nice. Next, you've got Robin. Robin is still destruction, and again, paired with things like Otama and Gordon, which can both be searched out by Curlitodon, you're going to be able to have better access to her destroying 5Ks and 6Ks, but she's really just going to be removing blockers and, you know, just tiny, tiny guys. Next, you have the almighty Zoro Rush. He is still in the deck, but he is probably one of the most, he's the most expensive character card you generally use outside of Whitebeard. But what's not to like about a 3K or 3 cost 5K rusher? He's going to be what he is, and in the Zoro deck, he's generally going to be swinging for 6K, and that is honestly what we like to see. Still value town. That's why he's holding his value, because he's one of the only SRs that's played in multiple decks that, you know, doesn't fall off going into set 2. Next, for returning, you have Otama. She's still a 2K. She's still going to minus 2K, which means she's going to be able to be played in combination with Vista, in combination with Robin, in combination with Jet Pistol. But now that we have a 1-drop searcher, what you're finding is that where people don't really like Gordon that much now, people are going to be maining Gordon in almost like unanimously in the Zoro deck list, because you can search them out with Curlitodon, and that's going to allow your Vistas and your Robins to destroy 6Ks, but it's also going to allow your Jet Pistols to destroy 9Ks. So all in all, pretty good. And clearing Whitebeard is so rough that generally you have to be able to play multiple of these things at these times. A single Gordon and Otama, or 2 Gordons plus a Jet Pistol, will kill a Whitebeard, and sometimes Whitebeard will run away with an entire game, so he's high priority. You can't forget that he has the Robin effect, so every turn he's on the board, he's going to be pecking away at your board while swinging at your face for 12K, so he's a high priority. Another returning card is Brook. Brook is a Straw Hat, so he's going to be searchable by Nami. He's counter 2K, and he's going to be able to be played for 2K, give 2 Dawn to something, and then he's a body that stays on the board. And that's more important than ever in this particular build, where you were just constantly playing these 1-drops, searching other 1-drops, boosting these 1-drops, and playing for momentum. Other returning cards, we got Jet Pistol, still that card, great to come off of life, great to pull the trigger off from your hand, and is solid removal combined with these -2s and -3s. Next, you got Monkey D. Luffy. This is kind of Fringe. He's a little hefty. So when I see this in other lists, it's normally only teched at like 2, if that, or it's just not in the list at all, because a 5 cost is a lot. It's very demanding for this curve that is now so low to the ground, where everything pretty much costs 1 and 2, some 3s, and Whitebeard is the end game. So essentially, Luffy's a little too fat for the deck in most cases, but yeah, this deck is a whole new level of speed. Another one is Radical. Because you are so balls to the wall, sometimes you can get rushed down pretty quickly, especially in the mirror. And so because of this, having things like Radical Beam, they generally become alive a lot faster than you would think. So Radical Beam is a 1 cost, so it fits into the low curve. You can use almost all of your Dawn and keep up Radical Beam and then go crazy. Another Fringe card is Diablo Jambe. Sometimes with the lower amount of Straw Hats, it's not as viable as it used to be, but at the end of the day, you can always put it on your leader and go 14. You could always put it on, you know, Zoro, Rush Zoro, and go 14. Yeah, that's pretty much that. It's not like this card is amazing anymore, because like in Luffy, you can go a little bit more of a distance. You can go a full 15 swing playing Diablo Jambe, and that's cool. And you don't have as many Straw Hats, so this one is kind of Fringe. Another Fringe one is Red Hawk. Red Hawk requires 2 Dawn, but it almost is instantaneous spot removal for almost anything in the mirror. If it's not a Zoro or Whitebeard, it gets mised by Red Hawk, and that's actually very important to stop an attack and stop an attack from coming sooner. Your opponent has to invest in things, and since a lot of these cards are specifically saying, hey, on play, give something 3K, or tap this, give something 3K, sometimes unless you want to put a Dawn on something or 2 Dawn on something to get it to 5K, there's not really a great way to invest this power on something, and so sometimes Red Hawk can get that 2-for-1. Put your leader up to 9K and then smoke something before it got any of its power-ups. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, let's actually go into the closing, and I hope this is giving you guys the insight into set 2 Zoro that you were looking for. So all in all, we have a basic Zoro deck. The way Zoro's headed direction is going to just go much lower on curve. The cards are going to come out and they're going to work in conjunction with each other, but you're going to be seeing a fair amount of 7Ks, some 8Ks. They're going to be searching each other out a lot more, and then when it all is said and done, you're going to get games closed out on you by the mighty beast that is Whitebeard. And Whitebeard's even going to make the leader more ferocious the turn it comes down. So this is kind of how it is. Momentum is the name of the game, and the deck plays so fast it's not even funny. So that is pretty much that. And I say so fast, this game, speed is relative. You're not dying on turn 3. It's not Dragon Ball Super. That's not how the game can work. But you are working at a Zoro that has a much lower curve, and you are going to probably be taking a lot of damage early on that you didn't expect to take. So this is definitely a format warping kind of deck. It's going to change the level of speed that a deck needs to get online. There are some slower decks that probably will not survive anymore. We'll see that as things like Dofi phase out. It's a little bit of a beast. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once the cards themselves come out, we will be able to jump in and, you know, like, have some gameplay videos. We're gonna definitely do the world tour again, where I go to all my locals with different decks each week to make sure I can give you guys the best comprehensive content. And past that, I just want to hope that you guys are enjoying everything. I'm gonna keep pumping this stuff out, and yeah, if you want to look at any of these returning cards as singles or pre-order content in the future, because I do think that Paramount War is a little sold out, just go over Mystic TCG. We're rocking the shirt right here, and the link will be in the description with the affiliate code. So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Like I said, this should be 2 out of 4 today, and we're just gonna keep pumping it out. Thanks.